for it. Let's go.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Monday Super Bowl 52 edition of Proline. Good tip fights on Dave Token. I had a great weekend. We both did. We both had really good weekends. We'll talk about that a little bit. Wait till you hear what Tim did on the Fox. First, I'll tell you what I did. I think if most of you who listen regularly know, Tim and myself both had the same thing here, which was Patriots money line, which we played prior to the Jacksonville game, right around even money. And then Eagles +6. So that worked out in the middle. It didn't come in. But you don't lose anything. I mean, it broke even on that. So that, was a good bet with no risk. And we didn't get the reward, but you didn't lose anything. So that's great. Props, I had two that I posted at the website. I think I actually gave them out here on the show, too, which were Brady over on pass attempts and Brady over on completions. They both won. So 2-0 there. I went 2-0 in basketball yesterday. I went 8-4 on Saturday. Things are very good right now, and I'm hoping they continue this way all through February. And I've got one college game and one NBA game on the website right now. Tim, you just killed it on the top.
Dave, it was a monster. Well, it was a monster day. I mean, you get the 80, points in the game and 1,150 yards. So I didn't feel like either team could stop the other team, and I felt the over bet was probably the best bet. And then I loved the second half being the highest scoring half. And of course, that includes overtime if you get there. So I love that. I had more money on the Eagles than I did on when I bet the middle, like you did, and we had New England and we had Philly. That was a middle. But I also liked the cover the spread at 4.5, 5, 6 with Philly, so I won that. The halftime I thought was amazing, where I said, okay, if they make the game 4 for the second half, I think they were down 10. They make the game 4-6. You could come in and say, oh well, maybe there's a chance you want to be on New England because they're such a great second half team. And they came out and they scored 21 points and they were really doing great. But they made the game 7. And I felt that just absolutely no margin for 7. But they made the total 28. And I said, well, this is ridiculous. I mean, I still believe the second half is going to be a higher scoring half than the first half. And they already had 32. So I said, this is crazy. That number is too low. And then I went in to make the bet, and it dropped to 27.5. And I said, oh, Jesus. So I jumped on that. And then I had a bunch of totals, or a bunch of bets with different players. The running backs catching more receptions and over yardage, and Ertz with the TD, and then. And I got to look up what the price was on this. I can't even remember. I put it's a very small bet, $50 bet on Foles to be the most valuable player. And I said, this is the most ridiculous bet in the world. Because even if they do win, I don't know if he would even be considered. But he played so damn good, they gave it to him. So I won that. It was a hell of a day. And then, I enjoyed the game, the people that were here, and then at halftime was good. And hats off to Pink for getting out there and with the flu, and she did great. Timberlake was great. I don't understand what Belichick was doing with Butler. In a game where there was absolutely no defense and nobody's able to stop anybody. He's a good defensive ball player, and to have him on the sidelines and why he was crying, that's a whole mystery we're going to talk about. But you get a guy like Brady. And you get two teams get 1,150 yards, and Brady throws for over 500 yards, no interceptions. There's one turnover by New England, and one by Philly, and one sack in the game, which is absolutely incredible, with that many drop back passes. It was amazing, and I don't know how old Brady is. Maybe he's 21 instead of 40. I don't know, but he's just absolutely remarkable player. And hats off to Nick Foles. I mean, this guy's a Cinderella story. He played under Reed. He played under Chip Kelly many years ago, with the year where he was 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And then he had rocky couple of years, around the league with the Rams and Jeff Fisher. And then the interesting thing about Jeff Fisher, and I'll bring this up, and I'm not trying to knock Jeff Fisher, but people are going to talk about this. He was the coach. He had Keenum, he had Goff, and he had Foles. All three guys had great year in 2017-18. They did some great things. And under Fisher, they couldn't do anything. So, I mean, a lot of people are going to talk about that. Not to throw the guy under the bus, but he hadn't had a winning year in like 12 years. So, anyway, it's Nick Foles. Where does he go now? You got Philadelphia has 2 starting quarterbacks.
Nowhere. He doesn't go anywhere.
Well, somebody's going to have to play for a lot less money that they can get somewhere else.
Well, he's going to be with the Eagles going into the 2018 season, and they'll back up Carson Wentz. If they have an opportunity to trade him for an overwhelming offer, they'll do so, but it would have to be an overwhelming offer. They don't trade quarterbacks in the NFL. They just don't trade them. I mean, Hostetler won a Super Bowl, and next year, with Hostetler and Sims, and it stayed that way. They never did trade him. They don't trade quarterbacks in the NFL. Look what, I mean, the Patriots took forever to trade Garoppolo, and he hasn't really proven anything. Nick Foles will be in Philadelphia next season. You can take it to the bank. Now, again, if somebody comes with a ridiculous offer, I don't know, if the Browns say, here, we'll give you the number 1 overall pick, well, yeah, then they'll trade him. But the likelihood of that happening is slim. This isn't baseball or basketball where guys get dealt. It's the NFL. Trades just don't get made this week.
Well, Foles is a humble guy, and he was thinking about retiring and becoming a minister. He's a different kind of character, and I like him. I like him as a person. And obviously, he's very talented as well. I don't know if a lot of money would motivate him, but it is a brutal league, and here's the question. We don't know how Wentz is going to recover from his injury. We don't know if he'll be ready for the start of the season.
He'll be fine. He'll be fine. He's a terrific athlete, and they stay rehab. I mean, it's amazing what they do now. But this ACLs used to be a year and a half, 2 years. The guys might not come back. They're back in 9 months now. They'll be ready for training camp.
You got to remember something, Dave, and I disagree with you on this. And it's sometimes, most of the time, we agree on things, but once in a while, a disagreement. This is a league about winning, and you're going to have a quarterback controversy in Philadelphia. Granted, Wentz played absolutely great this year, and he might do that again and again. You'll never have a controversy. But if he stumbles, and we know how fickle the fans are going to remember what this kid just did in the last 3 games.
Oh, no, and listen, that's why they're not going to trade him. That's why they're not going to trade for him, because they do want to, I'm sure they want to see Wentz back on the field and operating like he did prior to the injury. That's why they're not going to trade for him.
One of the problems with Wentz is, and I'm going to bring this up again, the biggest difference between Wentz and Foles is Wentz picks up quite a bit of ground on the ground running the ball. He's very physical. He's got good legs. He moves around well. But those type of quarterbacks have a strong tendency to get hurt. And that's already high risk. Now, also, I'll bring something else up. That correct me if I'm wrong, but I still believe that Wentz is still under a rookie contract, which means he's probably, right. if he is, he's making like $600,000, $700,000 a year.
Right.
Well, that's tough to give up on. When you look at what happened with Russell Wilson when he played those 3 years and he was getting $600,000, $700,000 a year. they had a great offensive line. They had a great defense. They could pay everybody. And then once he came off the rookie contract, 3-year deal, they had to pay him some real money. And now they had to get rid of a lot of players. They got rid of their center. They got rid of defensive players. The offensive line got hurt. So then they became the least paid offensive line in football and became a disaster. So that's a consideration. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of reasons financially that Foles would be traded, because they could pick up a couple defensive players, they could pick up offensive linemen, they could, there's a lot of things that get high draft choices. It's a money game, and there aren't any proven quarterbacks out there. It's very hard to get more than, out of 32 teams, what are there? Maybe there's 10 really strong quarterbacks in the league. And you never know what you're getting with the college kids.
Jim, I'm 1,000,000% certain on this. Unless they get a tremendous offer for Foles, there's 0% chance they will trade him. 0%. Because in just from what we were just talking about, there's no guarantee that when he's perfectly healthy, they want to see that first. And you just don't trade quarterbacks in the NFL. They just don't trade them. I mean, how many years of history do you want here? They don't trade quarterbacks this league. They just don't do it. So why is that suddenly going to change? It's not. The NFL has a different mindset than any other sport. They don't trade quarterbacks. And it really does sound like the only reason Garoppolo gets traded, if you believe the story of the written ESPN, which I happen to believe, was that there was a conflict in the front office, and that Belichick didn't want to trade him. And if Belichick had his say, they would not have traded Garoppolo, and he'd still be there. They don't trade quarterbacks this week. So, and again, look, is it possible? Yeah, if somebody comes with an insane offer, we're going to give you a first-round draft choice, a starting defensive back. Okay, then the Eagles might be interested, but those, unless somebody's nuts, they're not going to make an offer like that. You saw what the Patriots got for Garoppolo, who's the best quarterback prospect in the league. They got a second-round draft pick, and that's all they got. The Chiefs and Redskins worked out, and look what the Redskins gave up. Look what the Alex Smith deal. The Redskins gave up a ton to get him. Well, if somebody does that, then they'll make a deal perhaps. But first of all, Wentz won't get as much of an offer. Not Wentz. Foles won't draw as much of an offer as Alex Smith, who's a long-time established starter in the league and is considered to be an above-average starter. I know Foles did really well here, but he's not considered to be an above-average starting quarterback. Now, he might be moving down the road. Possible this is going to change his entire career. But I go back through the annals, and you can look at backup quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls. It's not the first time it's happened. They don't get traded. So I don't, unless history gets rewritten here, Foles is going to be with the Eagles next season, at least until into the season. And at that point, if somebody loses a starting quarterback, maybe they'll make a big offer for him. But they've got him at relatively, they can afford his salary. He's not making all that much. They've got Wentz. They're in a great position right now. Absolutely, they're in a fantastic position. And they'll end up going as the favorite going into next season. I know the Patriots are the favorite on the opening odds, but by the time camp rolls around and Wentz is back on the field, the Eagles will be the favorite.
I agree that they will be the favorite. Again, we do have a disagreement. I got to ask you a question, since we're having this discussion, and I think people like to hear this stuff, especially when we disagree. We don't run too long. Wentz went to college in Arizona. Arizona doesn't have... not Wentz, but Foles. Excuse me, Foles.
Yeah.
He went to college in Arizona. I think if they went to college in Arizona, and he went to high school in Texas. Okay, so he's a Southwestern kid. Arizona has no quarterback. And they got a head coach coming in there. So it depends on the fit. I don't believe Foles can operate under any system. I think he has to operate under a system similar to Chip Kelly, similar to what Doug Peterson did this past couple of weeks, which is a great fit for him. But, you know, I don't think it's as impossible as you're saying it is. And I know you're going back to the Hostetler days. This is a different football league now. Everything is about the quarterback. Everybody pays the quarterbacks too much. They're the most valuable asset in sports. They touch the ball on every play. It's all about putting up points. There's a lot of pressure in the league to put up a good product, and the good product means you got to be able to score points. And even if the games are 40-35, they just want to see action. They want to bring the fans back into it. They're going to change some of the rules in the league as far as penalties and stuff. I thought you saw a little bit of it yesterday with non-flags and non-overturned plays. But you're going to see more of that next year because the league is hurting from a standpoint of ratings. And that means money. Money is ratings and vice versa. So I disagree with you. I think one of those I think Foles is going to have to go. And I think he's going to pick up a big paycheck. He's got a young family. I think there'll be a chance of him moving to the Southwest somewhere. I think Arizona is a great candidate. That's just my feeling. And I could be 100% wrong. I've been 100% wrong many times in my life. I'm not ashamed to say that. But in any case, that was an awesome game yesterday. But Dave, going forward, you've been doing really well in college hoops, and we're getting damn close to the conference tournaments, which are exciting as hell.
Yeah, I know it.
Jesus, they're exciting. I mean, they play every day. They play one. You got to keep right on top of everything. It's 24 hours a day. Massive excitement. And I'm looking forward to that. And then we're going to get into the postseason tournaments, the March Madness and all the smaller tournaments, which are also very exciting. And then we got the NBA. And they're going to actually, I guess we have to make a note about this Cavalier team at some point. But at some point, they're going to start playing for real, and it's going to be magnificent because these guys are the best athletes in the world when they want to be. And but I don't know what the heck is going on in Cleveland, but what they did the other day with Houston was absolutely an embarrassment, where LeBron comes out and you should never put us on national TV again.
Well, they're back. Tyron will get fired at the end of the year, and the team will get broken up. Boy, they are, going to be some lean times ahead in Cleveland.
Well, Cleveland are used to having lean times. They are used to having lean times. I mean, LeBron came back. He did get them a championship, and that's good. But other than that, well, the Indians the last couple of years have been really good. I thought they were the best team in baseball last year, but they didn't quite get there. And but they played very well. But it's been a mess. But it was a great Super Bowl. It was most of the time it was a so-so football season for me. But the NFL turned out to be pretty good. The colleges ended up good with the bowls. I remember that I had the under in the Georgia-Alabama game, and that went to overtime and killed me. But there was some tough losses this year, but the Super Bowl was not one of them, and that was fabulous. And Dave, before we close, you have anything else you want to cover?
No, I think that's it. I'm done.
Okay. Check out VegasSportsMasters.com, JimFeist.com. Dave's plays are there. My plays are there. I have one college game up today. I may add another one, but right now there's only one. Dave, we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Sounds good, Jim.
All right, buddy.